Something extraordinary happened whenever Jonny Bairstow walked to the crease, and for a long time, no one fully understood why his presence seemed to alter matches before a single ball was played. He was not just another finisher, he was a force capable of turning situations upside down within overs. What you are about to witness is not merely a collection of innings, it is a demonstration of how intent, timing, and fearlessness can redefine what it means to finish a match. Bairstow did not wait for momentum, he created it. Bowlers, even the most disciplined, found themselves under pressure immediately, forced into mistakes before they could establish control. This is the story of a man who refused to play safe, who refused to let circumstances dictate his approach, and who transformed the final overs into opportunities to dominate rather than survive. Understanding Bairstow is understanding how England's finishing power became relentless, decisive, and almost impossible to counter once he took charge. His career shows why finishing is no longer just an art, it is strategy in motion. To understand Jonny Bairstow's role as England's relentless finisher, it is essential to begin with his mindset. From his earliest days in professional cricket, Bairstow displayed a unique combination of aggression, clarity, and adaptability. Unlike many players who rely on cautious accumulation or steady pacing, he thrived under pressure, treating high-stakes situations as invitations rather than obstacles. His batting was instinctive, but it was never uncalculated. Every shot carried purpose, every run carried intent, and every boundary carried a message. England would not be passive in the final overs. Bairstow's journey was not without challenge. Early in his career, he faced questions about temperament and consistency. Critics wondered whether his naturally aggressive style would survive extended periods in international cricket. However, Bairstow did not allow external doubt to alter his approach. Instead, he worked methodically on shot selection, reading bowlers and pacing innings, while retaining his attacking instincts. The introduction of the modern white ball era created an environment perfectly suited to his style. England's evolving strategy emphasized fast starts, high intent, and relentless pressure. Bairstow became a focal point for that vision, occupying the crucial role of finisher. In doing so, he not only scored runs, but also dictated how opponents approached death overs, forcing errors and creating opportunities for the team. What makes Bairstow remarkable is the balance he maintains between instinct and intelligence. His fearless nature is complemented by preparation and awareness. This combination allowed him to consistently turn games around in moments when others would falter, establishing a new benchmark for finishing in modern cricket. England's success in tight contests is inseparable from Bairstow's ability to perform under extreme pressure, proving that finishing is as much about mindset as it is about skill. Jonny Bairstow's unusual behavior as a finisher became apparent early in his career. Unlike conventional batters who measured risk in the final overs, he attacked immediately, using the first few deliveries to unsettle bowlers. His instinct was not merely to score quickly, but to dictate the game's rhythm. This approach felt unusual because most players treat the death overs with caution, balancing risk and reward carefully. Bairstow disregarded hesitation. He treated every ball as an opportunity to shift momentum rather than a threat to preserve wickets. What made his behavior stand out was its consistency. Even when teams planned specifically to contain him, he adjusted without retreating from his philosophy. Against slower bowlers, he used clever footwork and placement to find gaps. Against pace, he manipulated angles to disrupt lengths. His attacking intent was never reckless because it was informed by preparation and acute awareness of field placements. England quickly recognized that Bairstow's approach changed the game before others could respond. Captains adjusted tested strategies, setting fields defensively or varying bowling rotations, only to see him force errors elsewhere. His presence forced opposition teams to plan for him as a primary threat rather than merely a contributor. Even when he failed to score big, the unusual behavior remained effective. Pressure shifted, captains reacted prematurely, and bowlers struggled to regain control. Bairstow's method revealed a deeper truth. Aggressive intent applied systematically with awareness and timing could redefine finishing. It was not just individual brilliance, it was a tactical disruption that forced teams to rethink strategy. As Jonny Bairstow's aggressive approach continued, opposition teams and analysts struggled to categorize it. Commentators speculated whether his style was sustainable. Bowlers attempted to exploit weaknesses, adjusting lengths and lines repeatedly. Captains repositioned fielders, hoping to contain him. Every traditional tactic seemed only partially effective. Within England's setup, the same confusion existed. Coaches and teammates studied his innings to identify patterns or flaws. They asked whether his high-risk style could be replicated consistently under pressure. Each theory seemed plausible, but fell short when faced with results. Bairstow's timing, shot selection, and judgment combined instinct with preparation, making predictable exploitation nearly impossible. Even after dismissals, the damage was often done. Teams were unsettled early, and psychological pressure built before others faced the ball. England realized that Bairstow's perceived recklessness was in fact structured aggression. His method removed uncertainty from key moments and created opportunities for those who followed. Attempts to fix or understand him revealed more about traditional thinking than his approach. The supposed problem was actually the blueprint for a new, modern style of finishing, where initiative and intent became as important as technical skill. Despite all analysis and planning, one thing remained constant: Jonny Bairstow's unwavering focus on attacking first. He refused to compromise his natural approach, regardless of the situation, conditions, or match pressure. This fixation became the defining problem point of his career. If his method failed, the team risked early collapse. Yet he maintained the same philosophy: take control immediately, force opponents to react, and set the tone for the innings. What made this fixation suspenseful was the high stakes. Every time he walked out, the balance between brilliance and failure was razor thin. A single misjudged shot could negate his impact. Yet Bairstow's repeated success suggested that his instinct was more than instinct. It was a tested strategy. Opposition teams tried endlessly to break him early: short balls, slower deliveries, defensive fields. But Bairstow's clarity and commitment rendered many plans ineffective. His aggression became structured, adaptive, and relentless. This suspenseful fixation highlighted a broader truth. England's ability to dominate relied not only on individual talent, but on the courage to act decisively. Bairstow's unwavering focus forced teams and teammates alike to accept that calculated aggression could define modern finishing, shaping matches from the very first delivery. The first real clue that Jonny Bairstow's approach was more than instinct emerged in the subtle shifts it caused across matches. It was not just his boundaries or strike rate that mattered, but how bowlers reacted almost immediately. Captains began adjusting fields mid-over. Plans designed to contain him crumbled because he anticipated movements before they could be executed. Another clue appeared in England's middle order. With Bairstow setting a high tempo early, the pressure on bowlers decreased for incoming batters. They no longer had to rescue situations. They could build on momentum. His method created space for teammates to perform with confidence, revealing that his impact extended beyond personal statistics. Even small moments, like how he altered footwork against spin or used gaps against pace, reflected awareness and premeditation. What appeared instinctive was actually calculated risk. His repeated success in manipulating early overs became a sign that England's strategy was evolving around him. By observing patterns, analysts began to recognize a fundamental shift. Bairstow's early dominance was not sporadic, it was repeatable. He was creating pressure, dictating tempo, and setting conditions that forced opponents into mistakes. The first clue had arrived. Hitting first was not reckless. It was intentional, structured, and transformational. The big reveal came when the full impact of Jonny Bairstow's approach could no longer be ignored. England's matches began to show a consistent pattern. Early dominance led to control of the innings, psychological pressure shifted onto opponents, and momentum rarely swung back. Bairstow's role as a finisher was no longer limited to the final overs. He was now dictating outcomes from the start. Analysts realized that his aggressive opening overs did more than just add runs. They forced captains to alter plans before the game even settled. Bowlers who relied on patience found themselves frustrated. Every field adjustment seemed temporary because Bairstow anticipated it, exploiting gaps with precision. What once looked reckless was revealed as structured intent. Data confirmed the observations. England's win probability surged whenever he attacked early. His presence allowed teammates to play with confidence, knowing the foundation had already been laid. Bairstow's ability to absorb pressure without hesitation made him a tactical weapon. The big reveal was simple yet profound. Hitting first was not just a strategy, it was a catalyst for team transformation. By committing fully to initiative, Bairstow showed that calculated aggression, clarity of intent, and fearless execution could consistently shape matches. England had discovered not only a finisher, but a blueprint for dominating modern limited overs cricket. Jonny Bairstow's career teaches that finishing in modern cricket is as much about mindset as it is about skill. His fearless approach shows that early initiative can dictate the flow of a match long before pressure builds, forcing opponents into mistakes and creating opportunities for the team. By attacking first, Bairstow reshaped how England approached limited overs cricket. His journey also highlights the importance of trust and clarity. England's management allowed him the freedom to play naturally, and the team adjusted its strategy around his strengths. Mistakes were reframed as learning opportunities rather than failures, reinforcing confidence and accountability across the squad. Beyond cricket, Bairstow's story offers a universal lesson. Bold, deliberate action can redefine outcomes when grounded in preparation and understanding. Leadership, innovation, and success often require stepping forward with clarity, even when others hesitate. By committing to intent, seizing control from the first ball, and remaining disciplined in execution, Bairstow transformed England's finishing strategy and created a model of fearless, decisive cricket for future generations.